So I am more than honored and excited to be here today with you. Truly. You know, I run a foundation, Roman, and my foundation works with Holocaust survivors and righteous Gentiles all around the world. And your story is a remarkable story. First of all, where were you born?
I was born in Krakow, Poland, with a part of Galicia.
Yeah.
I'm right now in my 103rd year.
Wow. So you speak Polish?
I speak Polish. I speak more than one language.
Wow. So we can... Można teraz po polsku też, tak?
Yes, ja mówię bardzo dobrze. Polish is still my first language.
Wow. So at home you spoke in Polish with your parents?
In school, I spoke Polish. Home, we talk Yiddish.
Aha. So you went to like a public school with non-Jewish kids?
Public school was 50% Goyim and 50% Jews.
And this was in Krakow?
Krakow, Poland.
Where in Krakow? Whereabout did you live?
In Kazimierz.
In Kazimierz.
Like most of the Jews live in Kazimierz.
And school was also in Kazimierz?
Absolutely. The school was 10 minutes walk from my house.
Wow. In which direction? Towards the river or towards the old town?
Towards the river.
Oh, very nice. Towards the Wisła.
To the Wisła River, yeah.
Very nice.
The street was Wąska ulica.
Uh-huh.
What is Wąska Street?
Yeah.
Number 5.
So you were born in Krakow, Poland in 1922.
Right.
You're now in your 103rd year.
Yes.
That's a pretty incredible experience. And you look phenomenal. No, I wouldn't guess you're 102 years old.
I have good curators.
Yeah?
I have one son, one daughter-in-law, and 2 wonderful grandsons. And they're keeping me alive.
Wow, so that's the trick, is a good family.
That's a happy family.
A happy family.
Even my life was pretty tragic.
Yeah.
Because I lost my grandparents from both sides of the family. My mother's 2 parents, my father's parents, and I had a little sister. So in 1 month, I lost all 5 of them, beginning of the war.
Mm. What was your sister's name?
Halinka.
Halinka.
Yeah.
Halinka. And how old was Halinka when she was killed?
When she was killed by the German, she was 8 years old. They took her to Auschwitz.
This was at the beginning of the war?
My grandparents were right beginning of the war. My mother was taken to a concentration camp in 1940, and my father was shot in Plaszow concentration camp because he used to belong to JOB, they call that Żydowska Organizacja Bojowa. Mm-hmm. That means a Jewish organization of the underground.
Yeah.
One of them got cut and spilled the other's name, and all 8 of them got killed. Got shot publicly.
Do you remember that?
I wasn't at the time in Plaszow. I was working in another camp.
So let's actually step back. So I'd love to hear about when you were born and how you grew up.
I was born to a Jewish, Balbatish, good, prosperous family. My father was a general contractor. My mother was the housewife. My mother was very much on the religious side. So due to the fact that my father was a general contractor, my mother got the privilege that he built for her 2 kitchens in the house. One on one side was a Sleshik, the other on the other side was Melodic.
Oh.
So one was with meat, and one was with dairy.
Right, to keep to kosher laws.
And not only that, there were 2 things in the kitchen and 2 different set of dishes.
Wow. Do you remember a lot of anti-Semitism growing up as a boy in Poland?
Yes.
What was that like?
When we came to Poland,
Yeah.
not everybody was religious. Some were wearing kippas, some didn't. So the boys, the students, were sitting in the bench. Somebody in the back always came in the back and tore up his kippah. It was one thing. Or sometime when we have 1 hour a week religion of Yiddish, when the teacher came in, he was missing the material what he's supposed to teach us. But we had to live with it, we had to cope with it. They came to Poland nearly 1,000 when Poland didn't even have a religion. They didn't have a king yet, because the first king, Mieszko I, took the Catholic religion into Poland, because Poland was a pagan country till 1000. But the Jews were there before then. But the Jews didn't have a good life at that time in Poland, because Jews in the Middle Ages, till to 1333, till to the Kazimierz Wielki, what is the famous Kazimierz, where the Jews used to live when the war started. They were not citizens. They have no civil rights whatever. They couldn't own land. They couldn't loan houses. They could even rent. They could not allow to rent the houses. They could have a wagon and move every day from one place to another. What the Germans used to call them the ewige Jude, the wandering Jew. And that's how the Jewish people lived for about 600 years, to 1932, 33. And then the king of Poland, Kazimierz Wielki, invited the Jews to Poland and give them full rights.
Yeah.
The same rights with any Pole citizen they could own. Land, they could buy houses, they could make banks, they could build, they could do anything they want. In 1933, maybe 40,000 Jews, the king, Kazimierz Wielki, invited them to think. And from those 40,000 Jews, at 1939, Polish got over 3 million Jews. There was more Jews in Poland than the rest of the Europe, including the British Isles.
Yeah.
Because together with the west side and the east side, we came up to about 3,600,000. And the whole amount of Jews in Europe, including everybody, was 7 million. But the Jewish population grew. It grew to a point that when the Germans attacked us in 1939, there was 75,000 Jews in Poland, in Krakow. And the Krakow had 300,000 people. So we represent exactly 25%. But the economy was 75% on the Jewish side, and 25% of the economy in Krakow was on the other side, on the non-Jewish side. It is what making friction that anti-Semites grew, that they used to call nasze ulice, wasze kamienice. We own the streets, you own the houses. But somehow we live together. The cream of the crop of the Jewish people live in Krakow. Krakow got the best doctors, the best learners, the best professors. We got schools, we got yeshivas, we got Bedrivka, we got Yeshiva Gdoila. We got 7 huge, big synagogues. We got hundreds of shtibels, where you have every day a minyan. You can pray in the morning, you can pray in the evening. And the Jewish life was going on till September 4, when the German came into Krakow. And the whole Jewish life changed forever. I lost my identity. I lost my parents, I lost my grandparents, I lost my sister, and 100 people of my family. So when the Germans came in the first few days, all the 7 big synagogues were ripped off. All the machzerim, all the sidders, all the Yiddish, all the books about the Rashi and the Gemara, high study in the Jewish religion, were thrown out from the synagogues. They piled them up in all the Sefer Torahs. They threw them out and they burned them. They turned them, the army, the German army, into warehouses. In one of the biggest schools, the Alte Schule, they turned into a stable. They bring horses there. And there's life, Jewish life, stopped to exist, period. We had to go to work every day. We have no civil rights. Any German could up to any Jewish house and rip up whatever he wants. And the silver and the candlelight and the candelabra, they can go to the house, whatever they like it, they took back to the rucksack, to the knapsack when they were going home for leave. And we couldn't do nothing about that. And we, the people, had to clean the streets from 7 in the morning to 7 in the evening. We have to assemble every day on the same corner till the more control and establish toward work to design everybody. My brother and my father, we took the part of the metal family as metal worker. But my father was a terrific tinsmith. He could make figurine of tins. We're making tin roof and all kind tin articles for selling it on the market. So I got the job with my brother in the garage, and my father got a job in a cable factory, what was about another 3-4 miles away. In 1941, Hans Frank, do you ever hear that name? He was the governor of occupied Poland. He was the emperor of the 20 million people who was under his administration, because there were 30 million people in Poland before the war. So Poland was occupied by the Germans in September 1. In Russia, if I don't know if you remember that, maybe too young for it, but maybe you read it. Molotov, who used to be the foreign minister of Stalin's Russia, went to Germany, to Berlin. He made a pact with Ribbentrop, the German foreign minister. You put up a Kursor line and Przemysl by the river. You take the east part, what is 1/3, and we take the west part, what is 2/3. And they make a non-aggression pact. What didn't exist more than a year, because they attacked them in 1941. Okay, 2 years and a half later. So we got 22 million under the German occupation. That guy, whatever he could do against Jews, he did it. And on the 13th of March 1941, the ghetto of Krakow started to exist. Life was hell in the ghetto. That we couldn't walk on the street anymore. We have to work from morning to night, 7 days a week, for a minimal pay, with enough to get 700 calories of food, what is not too much when you're working 12 hours a day for 7 days a week. We couldn't go out without the permission. They threw us in an area where 6,000 Poles live, 6,000 people. They replaced 20,000 Jews, 4 times as many the Polish have. We have to live in one apartment with one sink in the kitchen, and one toilet, 20 people, to get everybody some minimal housing. The smell in that apartment, 20 people, you can imagine. There was straw sacks, one on top of another. At the daytime, they put them together, pile them up, and in the evening, to go sweep, they spread them out. And that was going up for a whole year.
And you were sent into the Krakow ghetto?
Yeah, I was in it. I was one of the 20,000. Originally, the German permit only 15,000. But whatever it was, 5,000 illegals smuggled in, and they were accepted. But other 60,000 were surrounded and sent to concentration camp, like Treblinka, Majdanek, Sosibor. Those concentration camps were working already.
Yeah.
And they killed them there, they gassed them. And this is exactly where my grandparents went, right from the beginning, when they killed them, whatever it was.
When did you last see your grandparents?
Within a month, I didn't see them anymore. They pulled them out within 30 or 40 days.
Do you remember your grandparents?
Yes, yes.
What do you remember about them?
I remember my grandmother from my father's side was a very small woman. Later, his father has a little beard. He was an inventor. He was an engineer and an inventor. He was gone. On my mother's side, like I told you, she was very religious. He was a Shomer Shabbos, with a beard, with a payas, and the grandmother was wearing a shaitel, okay? They hardly even speak Polish. Not my grandfather, my father, yes, side, yes. But my mother was sticking like 300 years back. Within a month or maybe a month and a half, they were gone already. The communication, it's not like here, you go to a car and see it. If you want to see somebody, you have to walk, knock the door, ich bin du, I'm here, let me in. Okay? My mother got an accident. After 10 years, she got pregnant again, after me. My sister was 11 years younger than me. Because my mother was a religious person, she couldn't take abortion, so she had to have the baby. Okay? So when I was 17, so she was 6. She didn't even go to school. She's supposed to start the school in September. By September, the war broke out. She was 6 years in September. So when they were throwing us to the ghetto, we had to have a Judenrat in ghetto, which is like a Jewish, like the Jewish city hall.
Right.
Okay. So the German is sent to them to do the dirty work. They give it to the Judenrat. You give us the people. You select the people. You send it over to us. So the Judenrat has to design the people whatever they ask. We need 500 here, 200 there. So the Judenrat did it. I was sent to a garage. And I was working there for months.
Where?
In Grzegórzki. About a 45-minute walk. It's not so bad for a guy like me, 17, 18 years. Nothing. What is
45-minute walk each way every day?
45 minutes, yes. I had to go with my brother to work. My father even goes further. He got an hour to walk. Yeah. But we're only walking. There was no cars, there was no street cars, there was nothing. This is not America. This is not New York or Chicago or Montreal, you know. If you want to see your mother or father, if you're not in the house, okay, you have to walk and knock the door because there's no telephone. You couldn't call him.
Right.
Okay. So one time I had an incident. I was working on the car. I was an Autoklempner at the bottom with my brother. My brother was my helper.
And how did you know to fix cars? Because of your father and his
My father,
tin?
we did everything in our shop there. So I had an idea what to do.
Right.
He accused me that I changed a job from one car to another car, like somebody came and bribed me, like another German do for me. I said, no, I didn't change my job. I did my job, but you're telling me and I'm still here. My brother's here, he's doing it with me, he's helping me. From his boots, he took out the whip, he started to whip me, till I fell unconscious. It looks like when he was whipping me, I didn't even feel already the whipping. I was cold, okay? He knocked out my eye. He blinded me of one eye. I was 19 years old when he did that to me. My whole life, I live with one eye, because that's what he did to me. Took me a week to take off my bandages and find out I have no vision anymore. This is why I went to somebody who knows ophthalmology. He told me, you're blind on one eye, you're not going to see it anymore. That's how I'm up to date. 2 months later, it came to my birthday. So on the 10th of August, 1942, I asked my foreman to change my shift from the morning to the afternoon because I want to have something to do. Or he gave me permission. So I want to spend my birthday with my mother. So I stay home. My mother get up at 8 in the morning. And in the ghetto, there was no stores or anything what you can buy. Only what you buy and rations, everything. But there were a few places, like Stiebel. And there, could you sell you a coffee, some cookies? But the coffee wasn't real coffee. It was the color of the coffee. Because there's no coffee during the war. Okay? So I said, Mommy, we're going to go for a coffee. Mommy was very happy. I was about 8:30 in the morning. I went out of the apartment where we were living. Within minutes, I don't know from where and how, hundreds of Germans came out and they surrounded everybody. And people didn't stay in their homes because everybody was going out because it was too crowded. So there were 1,000 people always on the street. They make action. They need 3,000 Jews or 4,000 Jews for a transport, to fill up a transport, so they surround the people. And I was going with my mother, so I tried to walk away. The German came to my mother and grabbed her by her hand. He was grabbing by her one arm, and I was holding her on the other arm. So then he got mad on me that I'm holding on to her. He took off his carbine and hit me with his carbine in my head. And I fell unconscious. I don't know, I was lying unconscious 5 seconds or 10 seconds or a half an hour. But when I opened my eyes, my mother was near there. She was gone. And I never saw my mother in my life anymore. I lost my mother on my birthday. The transport was going on. I remember by 3 o'clock, they got the quota, they took it off, and life was normal again. So I lost my mother on my birthday. I got another job in the Air Force in Rakowice. It was a concentration camp already, but it was surrounded by electric wires, and my brother went with me there. We were about 800 people sent out there. My mother's sister, she moved in with us because her husband got killed too, about 2 months before. So staying with us, she was taking care of my sister. My father was going to work. My brother and me went over there, and we were working there. During that time, my father was caught and accused for belonging to a underground or the resistance, put it this way, with the best of my 7 friends who I grew up together. They brought them to Plaszow, and publicly, among guests, shot everyone. I didn't know about that because I was isolated. But I went to the Air Force base in September or October, where I know it was after my birthday, after my mother was taken away. During that time, the Russian went all the way back to Stalingrad already there. And the Russian let them in and they trapped them. When the frost came in, the Russian the legs were frozen, the snow was all over the place, the German machine didn't work anymore, the Russian broke back. Exactly 2 years to the day, they liquidated the ghetto, and they said all the Jews, because they couldn't keep them loose, they want to have a better control. And Hans Frank, what I mentioned before, went on the radio and proudly announced that after more than 1,000 years, I made Krakow Judenfrei. That means I liquidate all the Jews in Krakow. There was no more Jews in Krakow because I sent them, all of them, on the other side of the Wisla River to Podgórze, where the Plaszow concentration camp went. And after 1,000 years, the Jewish life disappears completely on the 13th of March, 1943, to the day when they opened the ghetto. They were so precise, the German. Everything is with them, the mathematics, everything. Nobody is a better administrator than them. They knew how to kill people. They knew how to maltreat people. And that was their best what they can do. When I came back to Plaszow, the ghetto didn't exist. So it was after March.
Right.
So I came about maybe the end of April or beginning of May. By that time, tens of thousands of German soldiers were coming by train to the hospitals. So they took some prisoners to wash the cars, to make full of blood. So when they came back to the camp, so they tell us what to see. So we knew already what's going on. They canceled all the sub-camps. They only kept the concentration camp, like Plaszow, Sobibor, Mauthausen, Dachau, Auschwitz, and so on so. But I have to bring you one more thing before that. In June of 1944, happened a very tragic incident in Plaszow when they liquidated the ghetto and all the people from the ghetto came to Plaszow. The parents smuggled 600 children with them. Between the 15,000 people who went from ghetto to Plaszow, 15,000 people, 600 kids under the age of 8, okay, were there. They were hidden. The Germans didn't know about that. But they find out in one day, over the loudspeaker came out that the commandant wants to give you a proof for the kids who are illegally hidden in every barrack, but they couldn't find them everywhere. We're gonna delegate 2 barracks, 300 kids, the girls, and 300 kids, the boys. We're gonna give them a teacher. They're gonna get school. You may be going working, and we're gonna arrange the kid. Every mother, every father was very, very happy. So they took the kids from the hiding. They brought it to the Appellplatz, the Jewish order, because they were the Jewish police in the thing. Took the kids and select them to the 2 barracks, 300 in one and 300 in the other. Not later than 2 weeks after the German placed them, there was a roll call, Appellplatz. A roll call, everyone has to go and stand up, 5 in a row, 100 like that, and 20 like that, because they were counting us always by 100. 100, 200, 300. So we're staying 100 after another, men and women. The trucks came in, they load up, I don't know how many trucks, 5, 10 trucks. They load up the 600 kids, 300 from one, 300 in the other one. And those son of a bitches, those bastards, drove by where we were standing on the plaza and take to the kids to wave goodbye to the mother and father. They were taking them to Auschwitz to check them out, for the doctrine. So some of the women, the mother, broke through the line. About 15 or 20 of them, they were machine gunned. And the music was playing on the loudspeaker. Goodbye, mother, like a special song, like the mother said to the kids. It was heartbreaking. And all those kids disappeared. None of them survived. So this was one of the greatest moments that in one incident, in one thing, 600 kids with mothers and fathers watching them, they're taking them away to Auschwitz. And it was announced that they're going to go to Auschwitz, they're going to have a better place than here. So I came across a name, Oskar Schindler. Oskar Schindler was a bum. Oskar Schindler came to Krakow immediately the day when they occupied Krakow, the German people. He was a trustee, a Treuhändler, a liquidator. He got a job to liquidate all the Jewish businesses, all the Jewish banks, wherever they can find money, whatever it is, requisition, They sent it to Germany. He did a very good job. But during that time, he was going from business to business, from factory to factory. He came across a name, an accountant, Itzhak Stern, who was playing in the movie of Schindler's List. He said to that guy, look, I came across a post and pen factory. In this factory I could buy if I would have the money. I see you talking with very rich people. If some of the people who give me a certain amount of money, I don't know how the amount, what is worth it today, maybe $1 million of today money or $2 million of today money. I could save some Jews because you're not going to have an easy life under German occupation. I will open a factory, give you some jobs. P.S. Itzhak Stern got some people, he gave him the money. Schindler bought the factory from the German Reich by himself. He opened that factory in Zabłocie, but it's right after Krakow, on June 6, 1940. He started to bring the Jews to the factory. There were a few Jews, 8, 10, 15, 20. But to grow up, during the next 2 years, to over 1,000. And those Jews who were working for Schindler got a better life than me. Because I got a cup of soup in the morning, and a piece of bread, and a cup soup at night. They got 4 cups a day, or 3 cups a day, because Schindler was giving them more. And they were staying there till to 1943. Like we have the ghetto, but when they liquidated the ghetto, they have to liquidate the Schindler's factory too, because the law said no Jews can work outside. But Schindler kept communicate with the commandant of the ghetto, Amon Ghetto. And Schindler opened some shops in Plaszow. So Schindler got thousands of workers working for him. But it wasn't only Schindler there. There was Madrid, who had more people than Schindler, maybe 5,000. Plaszow got at the peak 30,000 people. That's a labor power, okay? They're not going to give you food for nothing, just to sit and smoking cigarettes. You have to work for it. So there was Kruger, there was Madrid, there's Forster, about 5 or 6 of them. They were making boots, they're making leather strap, they're making uniforms, hats, all kind of socks for the army, and they were paying to Amon Ghetto for our labor, and they were billing it to the government. But Schindler was only one Schindler. He make a mint in the post and pen factory. Billions. All Berlin, the Gestapo, the NSDAP, the army, the ministers were undertaken from him. He bribed everybody. He could talk to you, you believe him, whatever he said. He could sell you the Brooklyn Bridge. Yeah. He could tell you the Brooklyn Bridge is mine, I want to sell it to you. You could believe him. But he was also a drunk. He was very unfaithful to his wife, okay? He was a liar, he was a thief. And that's why he was playing double deck. One deck was the Jews, and one deck was the German army. If the Jews win, I'm a hero. If the German win, I'm a general. Because he has the rank of a colonel in the administration. He was wearing that yellow uniform with the Hakenkreuz. NSDAP, Nationale Deutsche Arbeitspartei. Okay? National German Labor Party. Then the Russians were coming back. It came an order that they're going to liquidate the Plaszow. They're going to leave all the other surrounding concentration camp because the Russians were already like 1,500 kilometers away, or 2,000 kilometers, but it's not far. The first thing what they want is to get the Jews out, not to have any evidence. So Schindler came with a plan. He went to Germany. He went to the Abwehr. He said, look, I'm running a business. I'm in production of ammunition factory in Brünnlitz, Sudetendeutschland, on the German border. And I need 1,100 workers. I need 800 men. I need 300 women. Nobody in the world, nobody could get that. He got it because he bribed them. And that's how started Schindler's List. Isaac Stern and Marcel Goldberg created that list. And I was a fortunate person and my brother that they put us on it, because they got those 1,100 people under one condition, that all the 1,100 people are specialized in the metal industry. Because it was on the paragraph ammunition factory under the German, the metal industry. So he signed. All the 300, the women and all the 800 men are specialists. There were less than 300 who know what they're doing, specialists. The other 1,000 or more were Schneiders, Schisters, dentists, the Jewish barber, the Jewish trade. Okay, that's what it was. And he came back with it to Stern. And that was already 1944. The Russians were coming closer already. So they start to liquidate all the things. They closed this mine and that mine. There was a salt mine with about 500 people who were working Jews directly to the gas chamber went. They didn't even have a chance to qualify for anything. And Madrid was there, and other were. P.S. By 1944, the factory, the ammunition factory in Brünnlitz was working already, but they need people. And people was hard to get because they were sending people to the front, not to the factories. So Schindler came to Plaszow. He talked with Amon Get to prepare 800 people. They need wagons, they need cavalry car. Most of the railroad tracks were already bombed, so they have to have a plan how they're going to transport 1,100 people. And by that time, Schindler and Amon Get didn't see eye to eye. In the beginning, they were brothers, they were kissing each other. But by the end, they were cheating on each other, so they were hating each other. And when they were both arrested at one time, one was spilling the bones on the other. But Schindler got the upper hand because he told his wife, anytime I'm arrested, this is the number you're calling, to Berlin. And they're going to fix me up and let me out. At one time they were both arrested. So Emily, his wife, he did exactly what he said. She called up Berlin and she told him, look, my husband is under investigation in Gestapo in Krakow. Okay, they're accusing him of black market, and let him out, because if he going to start to split the bean, you're going to be involved too. Didn't take long. So let him out. But by letting him out, they could not keep the other guy in jail. Among Get, because he going to talk. So they let them both out. They arrange a transport in October, beginning of October. They make the 800 men, the list of 300 women, they load us up. Schindler was there, Amon Get was there, and we were all sitting in the, Schindler was there to have enough water for enough, like a 5-hour train drive, a train to go there. And the women were on the other side, we didn't have not in touch with them, but Schindler was supervising us, supervising them. So when they locked everything from us, he probably went to the other side. We were figuring out, in 5 hours we're going to be in Brünnlitz, 5-6 hours. We're a day and a half and the train was still riding. What's happened? Amon Get double-crossed him. He went to the train master, he changed the manifest. instead to send them to Schindler, to Brünnlitz, he sent us to Gross-Rosen, to a camp where there's no work, is a gas tank. He will send us there. When we walk out in the couples, so like where we are, I said, we're not supposed to be here. He said, but you're here. And Schindler didn't know. And the women, instead to go to the same thing, to think, I'm going to get changed their manifest too, and send them to Auschwitz. So the women went up to Auschwitz, and we went up in Gross-Rosen. And it was in October, quite cold. They stripped us naked completely, everywhere. And they took us for Entlausung, because if you go from one camp to another, they let you in. But if you're going from a camp to a place where you're going to be working with some other workers, with German engineers, architects, and the ammunition factory on the same floor, you have to be clean. So they took us for Entlausung. We stripped us completely, and they shoveled us to a room about 10-foot ceiling high, with 2 square boxes on the ceiling. One was square and one was round. It was the gas chamber. But we already knew where we are. We have no choice. So they put 400 in the room. Out of the 800, they divide us in 2. My brother was holding me at the hand. He said, we're going to die. I said, you're not going to die. I believe that I'm going to go out from here. You know why? I keep my faith. I'm not a religious person. Never was. I kept my faith. I have a God. And I said to myself, God is going to save me. My brother was shaking her leaf. And for about 10 or 12 minutes, we were looking at the ceiling. Was probably 2 feet higher than this. And we didn't know what's going to happen. Or the water going to open, or the square going to open. Thanks to God again, okay? The round opened, and the thing come out. And this is the first time I got a shower in 2 years. I didn't get a shower for 2 years. The last shower what I got was on the beginning when I came to Rakowice, on the first week that they give us to wash up. And that's what it was. In the next shower I got there. They spread out with DDT, all the insects were looking like monkeys because DDT is white, you know. I couldn't recognize my brother that that's him because everybody was white, only the eyes and the lips, what you would see. Then they give us towels so we can clean ourselves. They give us new uniform, new numbers, because my number of Schindler's List, which you have here, in this book I'm going to show it to you later, okay? And I have a concentration number. My concentration number was 70,000 and up, whatever it is, with a letter. And the Schindler's List was only 11 numbers, okay, because 1100. So you have a smaller number. They give us the uniform, and we got dressed. They give us some soup, whatever it was, because we didn't eat for 2 days. One day goes through, second day goes through, and at the same time was the uprising in Warsaw, in Poland. The Polish student, the cream of the crop of the Polish university students were fighting the Germans. They killed them all. And the Russians were across the street, they wouldn't go. They were waiting till they kill them. So they killed the uprising, and all those people were coming to. So they were more busy with them. So they were killing them in the same time. So we got a couple days on the back burner. Till about on the third or fourth day, we looked out from the barracks. We saw Schindler stay on the higher ground with papers in their hands. He's arguing with the commandant of the concentration camp. He said, I want my 800, screaming. Was he talking to him? I want my 800 men by name and by numbers, and they are prepared to go to my factory. He said, I'm not going to look for them, okay? I can give you 800 men from the row, and that's it. To the very day, like I'm talking to you, I don't know by authority. Oh yeah, he was in his leather coat, the Gestapo coat, with a big armband there, you know, he was a big fellow, 6'4", 300 pounds maybe, okay? He was very, very powerful. You know, he looked like authority, okay? So strong. So he convinced the German concentration commandant lager that he's going to give him the 800 men. So to the very day I'm talking to you, I don't know if he got by the authority or by bribe. I asked him after the war, what's happened? He wouldn't answer. Okay? But I think he bribed him. Didn't take too long. The German guard came in and they were going to selection. They were calling out names. So one, another, they got 800 men in eight or 10 cattle cars, 11 cattle cars, they loaded up. He stayed with us till they lock up the last cattle car, and he asked the engineer on the locomotive, what is your manifest? So he was waiting till the train would leave the camp. When the camp was out of the thing, he went back to the factory, to Brünnlitz, which was about 4 hours away, another 4 hours. When we came, but with the train, with the changing of the tracks, you know, because they were bombed and everything. Yeah. You talk 1944, you know, the Germans didn't have much road and much bridges, so they have to shovel around. When we came to the gate of Brünnlitz, was a fully implemented concentration camp. 15-foot wire mesh tower around 10,000 volt wires, electric wires, dogs between the wires, and he was waiting for us on the gate. He was the one who walked over to the gate and opened it. Yeah, when we were there, because we were walking from the station, was not far, like half a kilometer. When we came to Schindler, to the factory, you see what we got. A different world. Hot showers, soup, bread, jam. We couldn't believe. None of the 800 people who went to Schindler's List, to the concentration camp there, to Brünnlitz, died. Maybe one or two are natural causes, where they got a Jewish burial and a Catholic cemetery. Because he went to the pastor and the neighbor thing, he said, I want to give those people. So they sold him like a small piece of land. They put a fence there. He's out of the cemetery, of the Catholic cemetery. He's in no man's land. They buried them.
Wow.
And this is because he buried more people later there. That's another story. Schindler was a guy that there was none in the world. He took to him by the end, at that time already. He saw how bad are the Germans, because he was a Czech. Schindler was a Czech national, okay? His father was a German, living in Czechoslovakia. So he was born as a Czech, on a Czech territory. But he was more with the German than with the Czech, because he was spying for them. He was arrested. Before the war, he was arrested. When the people start to work, we got respect from the engineers and from the co-workers there. Because he told to the commandant, I don't want you to touch my Jews, and I don't any guard to walk on my private property on the factory floor. So the German could go, let's say this is the factory, but the German could go on around. They couldn't put their feet in the factory. And that was going out for about 2 weeks, nice and quiet. But there was another tragedy again. As we went to work, there were 12 kids. 12 kids who hide themselves in Plaszow. They jumped to the latrine, to the shit house. And they didn't go with the transport, with the other 600. When we went, the 800, to Gross Rosen, we smuggled them between us. those 12 kids, I don't know how many boys, how many girls. And he find out from the co-workers that the kids are in the factory. They were running around. The father was a kid is a kid. We told them, you stay there, anyway. So the Leopold called up Schindler. He said, look, I'm not among it. I want to cooperate with him because you're nice to me. Because, it was blaming him, giving him money like everybody else. But I don't want to go to the Russian front, and I don't want to go to court-martial. You have kids in the factory, they cannot stay here. Kids cannot be in an ammunition factory. Because, as I know, some workers already know. If they're going to go further than 10, I'll be on the Russian front. So I'm giving you 24 hours to decide what you want to do. The only place where the kids now, at that time, 1944, that was already maybe in November already, because time is moving. The only place and all occupied area is Auschwitz. Those kids has to go to Auschwitz. What I'm to, because you see, you're an even guy, you're making factory, you make ammunition, he was playing that, the patriotic thing. We need those people. We can agree that there's 12 kids. We allow six volunteer fathers go with the 12 kids there and stay with the kids. Whatever going to happen is not my business. But I cannot keep the kids here. 6 fathers out of the 12, 6 fathers stay behind. 6 other fathers went with them. You never hear any more about the 12 kids. You will never hear any more about the 6 fathers. The kids probably went for injection or whatever it is. And the fathers probably disappeared, they killed them too. And the mothers were not there yet, because the mother was not in the camp. We were already 2 weeks in the camp. And Schindler was getting crazy, where are the women? So he found out, he went back to Poland, he talked to the train master, he said, give me the manifest from that day with the train. So he gave it to him. So he found out that I went to Auschwitz. After 3 weeks, he found out that I went to Auschwitz. What he did? He went to Auschwitz. And now we're going to come back to the movie, Schindler's List. He went to Auschwitz. He went to the commandant. He said, look, I have 300 women who were wrongly discharged here. They're supposed to go to my factory. So he said, no problem. You want 300 women? Right here, I give you 300 women. Because we have paper. For right. But no, I don't want 300 women. I want my women. Because they're special workers. He said, no way. How am I going to remember? You saw the movie?
Of course.
He went to his back pocket. He took out a sack of diamond. He spilled like I'm here with you, in front of you. He looked at those diamonds. He looked at him. He looked at the diamond again. Opened the drawer of his desk with both hands. Remember that? With both hands. Showed the diamonds into the drawer. He said to Schindler that time. This he told me after the war, Schindler. The whole conversation. He put those diamonds in the thing, see me tomorrow. When he came back tomorrow, back to the camp, because he was staying probably in a hotel somewhere there, they were already in the wagons, ready to go. In 6 wagons, they put 50 women in each cattle car. Okay? Schindler did the same thing, what he did with us, I think. He stayed there till they locked them, till they put the water in there. They locked the doors. Remember, you can see, that train station there, we were driving to Auschwitz. Yeah. Arbeitsmacht free. Yeah. Okay? He was waiting till the train passed the camp. He was talking to the engineer on the locomotive. He said, yes, I have here, my manifest goes to Berlin, Czechoslovakia. He went there. And the same thing happened. He was waiting for the 300 women till they come. When the 300 women come, the first thing would ask, where are the kids? Heaven open. There was a revolution. The earth was shaking. Out of 300 mothers who lost those 12 kids there, okay? So, 12 of the 300 mothers, they find out that their husband wouldn't go with the kids. But 6 other husbands went. It was a terrible thing. There was one suicide. The very next day, there was one suicide. One mother couldn't take it. That the husband didn't go, and the kid got lost. She committed suicide. She cut her veins.
Oish.
I'm telling you, I lived long. I had a very tragic life. And then, life was going on as it could, till one more incident. Till the 6th of January 1945, where Germany was almost kaput. They didn't have bridges, they didn't have roads, they didn't have railroad station. A call came in to the factory from the train master, a Czech there, that there's a train here with frozen Jews. The German when dropped them because there's nowhere to go. All the railroad tracks are thing. He said, we hear yelling, screaming, but we cannot open them because they're locked with the German locked outside. We cannot open them. Emily Schindler, his wife, was in the factory. She said to the chief engineer, give me 6 trucks, take 50 prisoners, open all the things, bring whoever is still alive, bring them to the factory. So the engineer told her, I have more important things to do than saving Jews. I'm not taking order for you. You're not my director, your husband. 10 minutes later, she got a call from Schindler. If you're not going to say what my wife say, I come there and I blow your head off. Or I send you to the Russian front. Because he was a capacity, he was power. Schindler was tremendous power. Okay? They took a number of trucks. I was one of them who was cutting it. Well, I'm good, this is my work, my branch, okay? We opened about 15 cattle cars. We saved from about 500, 100. We couldn't take them more because when we were pulling too strong, I didn't pull out the hand, I pull out the hand, or I pull out the foot, because they were frozen. We brought about 100 of them. P.S. Whoever we bring in, we put them in the factory floor, in the warehouses, on the floor, and some padding there, whatever it is, with a low temperature. You have to tie them up very slow. You cannot put them hot air on them, except one. Everyone survived. The other 400 what were still in the wagons, we brought trucks. We bring it to the place where the 2 guys what we buried before, what
in the Catholic cemetery.
We make a mass grave. We put them in one grave. We put the Magen David on them. Today there's a cemetery there, a Jewish cemetery. Schindler, the books what they're writing about him, nothing is enough. He was, like I told you, he wasn't a nice person because he was a liar. He was a thief. He was stealing from me and taking to him. Whatever he did, nothing was straight. But he saved 1,200 people. 1,100 from Krakow, where I belonged, and 100 people from Golashev, were Hungarian Jews, not even Polish Jews. They were coming from Hungary to Gross Rosenau, to another, but they couldn't go any further because there was no road anymore. There was no train tracks anymore. So they dropped them. They went away. It wasn't Hilton, New York or Waldorf Astoria. No, it was a camp, a regular camp, but nobody was beaten, nobody was shot, and everybody survived. 8th of May, 1945. We didn't know nothing was going on. We were in the mountains. Nobody talked to us. Nobody was allowed to talk to us. You're not allowed to. You, as a Jew, as a prisoner, you're not allowed to ask a German a question. He can ask you, but you have to raise up the hand first. So if he want to talk to you, he said, okay. Otherwise, he walks away. You cannot talk. Only if he give you permission to talk. That was the paragraph. The thing was ringing, Appellplatz, to the loudspeaker. All the prisoners assembled on the Appellplatz on the assembly line. We had a big place there in the factory. It's a huge factory. The factory was the size of Konstantin.
Wow.
It's tremendous, big, huge. Train was going through it. A river is going through it. Big, very big. So we assembled, and then Schindler, a minute and a half before 12 o'clock, came down. Was nervous. He didn't know. Maybe you're going to send us to another camp or something. We saw something is fishy. 12 o'clock at night. Call you, okay? Why everybody has to go to work in the morning. Something is wrong somewhere. He stand up in front of us. He look on his watch. He start to count. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, like 2, 1. With both hands, here he screamed out, "The Krieg is forever. The war is over." In German. "The Krieg is forever. The war is over." We didn't know what was happening. I got frozen. My brother, Stefan, he was always behind me. Because I know if I'm going to lose him, I don't see him anymore. He wasn't like me. He wasn't a Spitfire, you know what I mean? He was behind me. Right here, behind that ear, on the left-hand side. He whispered to my ear, "Roman, we're born again. My mother gave us the first life. Oskar Schindler gave us a second life. With 3 people." He started to cry and they talk and apologize to us. I could ask for 5,000. I could ask for 10,000. He would get it. Because they're taking the bribe. Well, they give it them in Berlin. You want that now? They got 100,000 prisoners, 200,000 prisoners. There were plenty of prisoners, okay? That I could save more people. And he apologized to us. And he started, "I give you your freedom. I give you back your name," he said. "I give you back your entity. You can go wherever you want, and you're free people." Like in the 1800s, the freedom the slave in the United States. He gave us my entity. Because I didn't have a name. I have a number. The number 548 was my name. Okay? If they were to call me, they don't call me Roman Goldberger, what that was my name before. They call me 548, 547, 546. That's how it goes. Assemble here, go there, let's say you change your job. Then they call out 5, 10 numbers to change the job, go here, go there. It was much easier. After that, his speech, he was wearing a jacket like me, a windbreaker. He opened the windbreaker. "Give me another cup. Give me 2 bottles. Give me 2 bottles." He opened the thing, and here in his belt, he got stuck 2 hand grenades with a wooden handle, the German wooden handle. He said, "1 grenade is for me, and the other grenade is for my wife. I won't concede to the Russian because they're going to shoot me, and I won't concede to the partisans who are waiting for me on the top of the mountain, and I don't want to go into any court. They're going to kill me. I'm going to commit suicide with my wife." So "Oh no, we won't let you." And everybody jumped over to him. "Please don't do it. We're going to make a civilian or prisoner uniform for you. We're going to go, we take a truck, we put you in it. We're going to smuggle you over to the American side." Oh yeah, he mentioned to us, the Americans are very close. Okay? The Americans are just over the mountain, whatever he said. "We're going to smuggle you over." Anyways, it wasn't a big deal to make the two uniforms between 1,100 Jews. There's plenty Schneiders.
Yeah.
That's the Jewish trade. Didn't take no time. But we couldn't get him one of ours because he was like 3 of us. He was 6'4", wide like this, okay? So we take a few on uniform, we make for him. She was a normal woman, okay? So we make one uniform for her, one for him. We put them on the truck. We took enough water. We took enough some food. We put the uniform with the temple cover, you know.
Yeah. The hat, right?
The hat, you know, with the strap. Even a number on the hat you have to have. Okay. So whenever we pass the Russian checkpoint, they have been asked you need water, you need gas. They were very friendly to give us. But they knew what's happened, and they brought them over to the American side. And that, I lost contact with Schindler from 1945, 8th of May, to October 1959. I went to home. War finished. After Schindler's speech there, I stayed there about 4 or 5 days. I went into the country. I took away from a German farmer a couple of horses in a wagon. We loaded up 8 boys and 8 girls. Went back to Poland. When I came back to Poland, it took us about a week. When I crossed the Czechoslovakian border between Poland and Czechoslovakia, the name of the city on the border was Cieszyn. The border guards, the Czechs, told me, why are you going back to Poland? They hate you. They're going to kill you. They'll stay with us. I said, I have to go. Maybe my mother, maybe my father, maybe my sister, maybe somebody from the family. You believe in the illusion that maybe somebody will come. Of course, few cousins came in, but nothing very, very, very close. So I said, I have to go out. So in 1949, he got a passport. He couldn't leave Germany till 1949. He was under the investigation by the Russian, by the French, by the English, by the American. And everyone took a year to investigate him. Finally, there were thousands of people who signed for him, who talked for him. They didn't charge him. So he got a passport. He couldn't get a passport. He got a German passport. Nothing special. It's just there's no charges against him. All right? Mm-hmm. So Emily looks like during his heydays, during the honeymoon, he sent out lots of money to Argentina. Millions. So they bought farms there. They bought properties there. So when he went there to 1949, Emily was already there. She was running the farm, whatever it is. But Schindler never changed. Instead of running the farms, he was running the broads, and running the booze, and stealing, and lying, whatever he can. P.S. He came back in 1959. 10 years later, he came back broke, without a penny to Germany. Schindler. Emily stayed there. He left her. He left her with the debts because he was bankrupt. He lost all the money there. In the beginning, he became a big celebrity. But you know, people, we Jewish people, we also have our shtick too, okay? Yeah. They give him here 20, a 50, or 100, but this cannot make a guy going. He was a tourist here, okay? There was a group of people who got together. Maybe you read it in the papers. They put him in business, a cement factory. I couldn't go to Germany because when the war finished, I make a vow. My foot will never stop on the German territory because it's soaked up with Jewish blood. My mother, my father, my sister, my grandfathers, grandmothers. I will never ever go to there, and I will never drive a German car. And I keep my thing, so I couldn't go to Germany. He went to Germany. At that time, 1959, 61, some boys already were in business. A few of them started construction companies. So we decide, let's buy a small cement company where the Jewish boys are building. So you're going to buy cement from him. You're going to get a job, you cannot lose it. Even if they pay 50 cents more a yard, the business can carry. So I put him in business. A year and a half went through, the business was broke. Why? Schindler was never there. If you wanted Schindler, his office was at the bar. Okay? Big Daddy. He was a Big Daddy, drinking. Okay? So, took about a year maybe. We bought it back for 50 cents on the dollar. We opened the same factory again. But we told him, look, we're going to do it. The boys going to buy from you. But if they're not going, if they order cement from you, and they have to wait on the job, and you're not sending it, they're going to say they have to go someplace else. P.S. He ended the second time bankrupt too. He took it to his heart. He had a heart attack. He went to the hospital. There were 8 survivors. I don't know. I have the picture from him. We say, guys, we're not going to open another factory for him. It'll be cheaper for us. Let's give him a pension. Let's give him a woman. Let's buy him a car. If we give him once a week a pay, he cannot spend more than he has. In when he got out of the hospital in 1963 or 64, the boys told him that one of the guys who were arranging it was an accountant. He lived in Germany, in Stuttgart, not far away where he was there. The 8 boys who decided to look after him, once a year or twice a year, we send a check to Henrik, and Henrik allocated for him money. It was quiet. I didn't hear nothing from him for years. I met him once in Israel, once I met him in France. That's it. In 1974, on the 8th of October, I wasn't building anymore here. I was already branching out. I was building in Florida. I got a call in Florida to my office from Henrik. I should call him back. But I'm leaving my job always like 4:35. By the time I do job, to the office is 5:30. When I came to the office 5:30, Gil gave me the message. There was a very important call from Germany for you. So I look at the thing. Oh yeah, okay, I call him back. But I cannot call him back because there was already 12 o'clock at night. So I say, I will call him tomorrow morning. The next day, 7 in the morning, but was already there 1 o'clock or 12 o'clock, okay, I call him, hey Henry, I had a message from you. I say, yeah, I have bad news. What is the bad news? Schindler passed away. So if he passed away, we have to bury him. I was on his deathbed because he was sick at the time, and the guy who were in touch with him, the doctors called us that he does much to go. I don't know, or a minute, or an hour, or a day. He was very weak when he was still alive. He whispered in my ear, I want to be buried in Jerusalem. Him, I want to be buried in Jerusalem, he said, to Henry. I said, if you want to be buried in Jerusalem, let's see what we can do. I got some connection there. I call up my friends. Immediately we make a committee there. A delegation was sent to Frankfurt, where he would die in the hospital there, to balsam his body. And the Hasidim in Israel, the Haredim, find out that we're going to bury him on Mount Zion. There's a Catholic cemetery 5 minutes from the Western Wall. You know
I know exactly where it is. Yep.
Okay, I will have a picture from it.
Yeah.
Okay. So in Yitzhak Rabin was the prime minister. So this guy here, Moshe Beisky, you remember that name?
Yeah.
He was the chief justice in Israel. He's right here. On top of me, this is me, and this is him.
Wow.
I hang up with Henry, and I call Moshe Beisky. I have his number. I say, Moshe, Schindler died. I talked to Moshe in Yiddish, because I wasn't so good in Hebrew. Okay. So, and he wasn't so good in English. Okay. In both of us, we don't want to talk Polish. So I talked to him in Yiddish. I said, Moshe, Schindler, he left a wish. He wants to be married in Jerusalem. You're the only guy who can do it. The boys are trying there, but they are nowhere. We send the body to Jerusalem. There was a Catholic undertaker. They put him in the frigidaire. We pay the 8 boys, what I told you. We pay for the plane, for the balsamic. They send them over. The delegation from Israel went over there, and they managed that, to bring him over to Israel. He was for 11 days in the frigidaire, 12 days in the frigidaire. We got a body, but there was no place to bury him. The press was on our side. Demonstration. And Rabin, the first thing what Rabin said to Moshe, not on my watch, going to be a Nazi, burned 5 minutes from the Wailing Wall. But there was very demonstration. He saved 1,200 Jews. Finally, Yitzhak Rabin was a mensch. He was a wonderful person. And Yitzhak Rabin gave us permission to bury him. 19 days later, after he died, he was buried at Mount Zion Hospital Cemetery. And that was the biggest achievement in my life, I think. So after the funeral, we make a pact, the 8 of us. The 28th of October, every 10 years, we're going to meet here. The first 84 was maybe 300 people, then maybe 400 people, then 200 people, then 100 people. In 204 was maybe a dozen. And 214, Michael, this guy here who sits here with you, he went with me.
Your grandson?
My grandson, on the 40th anniversary, okay? We went there, I said, Michael, we have to be at 9:30 because the boys in Gears are coming in. We had 9:30 there. We stayed there, 9:30, nobody come. 10, 10:30, 11. Who's coming? Guides, with tourists. But they find out that there's a survivor here, a Schindler survivor, they're going to talk. So they all were waiting for me to talk. At 11:30, 2 hours later, I said, nobody's going to come. I was crying already. I couldn't talk. I make a very small speech, okay? From 1,100 people, nobody showed up. 1,100. Originally, there were about 600, maybe 550 survivors, Schindler survivors in Israel. And I'm telling you that I'm sure that in 2014, there were 6 survivors there, but they didn't come. But he saved their life. I came from Montreal. Not only that, I invited 2 of my friends. One was my best friend, Izzy Gordon, and the second friend was Leonard Kopelov with his wife, my president of my shul, Adad Israel in Hampstead. So they went with me. And Michael was with me. So 6 of us and the other people who were there waiting for the speech. And there is no explanation why people forgetting. There's no such a thing. You know, we're trying for Schindler get the righteous Gentile. I belong to the Krakow Friendly Society in New York, in Flushing. That's the only one what is left over. Because there were hundreds
of Landsman communities and nothing left.
From all the world. Yep. This one, the last one is left over. So we got Yitzhak Rabin helping us make him a righteous Gentile and Yad Hashem.
So tell me, Roman, so from the 1,100 people saved by Schindler, we only know of 3 left, including you.
He really saved 1,200.
1,200.
Because he saved the 100 Jews from Golan.
Of course. So with all those people saved by Schindler, what's so important about remembering? Why is it so important to remember?
Destiny. It happened to you. And if not him, I wouldn't be here probably. My brother maybe wouldn't be here. Okay? In front of those 1,000 Jews, 1,100 Jews, you know how many Jews are here? Thousands. I don't know. 30,000, 20,000, I don't know.
He was a remarkable man, Schindler. A remarkable man. So what is that in your hand? What is this? Yeah, show me what this is. This seems like something very special.
I am an Israeli citizen.
Yes.
Okay?
Yep.
And you're not going to find nowhere in the world a passport like that.
So this is an Israeli passport from Which year? Let's have a look.
1952.
1952.
Look the number, 900 numbers.
So this is passport number 975.
5. Starting
Yeah.
with 500. I was 610 because the passport came about a year and a half later. I was citizen before.
You were a citizen before?
About 610 or 614, something like that.
Wow.
But one thing, I have here renewal, okay?
Yeah.
I can have renewal for another 100 years. Okay?
That's
So
that
I
is
just want to bring you.
that's a
You
beautiful.
won't see another passport.
No, that's an incredible thing to see. It truly is. I mean, you've lived an incredible life. You really have. And you have a beautiful family. And I'll tell you something, when I said I was coming to Montreal, your grandson was all over me. He says, you have to meet my grandfather. He is the most special person. He's the best person. He's so proud of you. I want to ask you, so tell me about your necklace.
I'm a Leo.
You're a Leo, so that's the lion.
Yeah.
What's your Hebrew name?
Avrum.
Avrum.
My mother called me Avrumele.
Avrumele.
Yeah, Avrumele.
Uh-huh.
But one thing,
Yes,
you understand Yiddish?
a little bit.
I translate you. When I was a little kid, my mother would sing me a song. She always told me one thing.
Yeah.
Behave yourself, because das ganze Leben ist a Chulem. Conduct yourself properly, because your whole life is a dream. And I know what? I'm 130 years. I still have my dream.
Do you remember any songs from your youth? Your mother used to sing you any songs?
Yeah.
What song did she sing you, Avrumele?
Anyway, I cannot talk now. I talk too much. Give me
some water. Here's some water.
My. Oh, that's another song.
Exactly. My. Besser song. Exactly. What makes you happy?
Peace.
Peace makes you happy.
Yeah. People should get together, see what is wrong with what is right. Everybody should get a fair share of life.
Fantastic. So now it's my turn to tell you a quick story.
Yeah.
Okay? So my organization works all over Eastern Europe,
Yeah.
mainly in Poland.
Yeah.
Unlike you, I'm in Warszawa, not in Krakow. But actually, I don't know if you ever came across someone called Edward Mossberg.
Yeah.
Eddy Mossberg. Edward Mossberg.
Yeah.
So Eddie was also born in Krakow.
Yeah.
He was in Plaszow
Yeah.
as well. And he was working mainly with Git. He was forced to work there. In fact, this was Eddie's number from Mauthausen.
Yeah.
So I was very close to Mr. Mossberg. So Mr. Mossberg,
Right?
he passed away 3 years ago, unfortunately. And
How old is he?
he was 96 when he passed away, a youngster.
Yeah.
So my organization focuses, we do a lot of work with the righteous Gentiles. So I spend all of my time, especially during December, I go all through Eastern Europe, from Germany to Poland to Ukraine, Belarus, Lithuania, Hungary, and I visit all the righteous Gentiles that are still alive. From all of the 27,000 people honored by Yad Vashem, today there's less than 90 still alive in the whole world.
90?
Less than 90, that's it.
Yeah.
So the majority of those who are alive we meet. But one of the other things that we do is that we often look to discover hidden Jewish heritage and history. And like you said, at the beginning of the war, when the German Nazis entered Krakow, you remember they took the Machzorim, the Sidurim, as you said, the Sifrei Torah, and they'd pile these things together and burn them.
Burn them, yeah.
And everything connected to Jewish heritage, to try and delete and erase our memory.
Well, they erased us from the earth.
Exactly.
But when we came back, we were almost at the same strength as before the war.
Yeah, almost.
I think we missed 1 million.
Yeah.
Okay? We're coming close to it. But 80 years. 80 years. We were not yet what we were. Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
Some countries triple in 80 years.
So one of the things that we do, as I said, is to look to rediscover this heritage and history. And I was in a small town in northern Poland, in Mazury, so, you know, the Lake District of Poland.
Yeah.
And I was going from house to house with students, volunteers from the University of Warszawa, and they were speaking to the locals. And they were going from house to house and trying to understand anything maybe was hidden or any stories that somebody knows. And they came to the house of a Polish shepherd, a very simple man. And this old man was very excited to have people come to his home, and he invited them in. And the students came into his home, and he sat them down, and they started to give him the spiel that they're looking for anything connected to Jewish heritage and history. And they could see that this old shepherd was getting very nervous, and they knew he had a story to tell. So they pushed him, and eventually he told them. And he said, listen, I was only 5 years old when the war started, and in my town of Filipov, there are about 5,000 inhabitants, 2,500 Jews and 2,500 Poles. And I remember the day that they came to take the Jews. I remember because my neighbor was the rabbi, and he was an old man with a long white beard. And I sat and I watched from my window as this rabbi was being walked into the center of our shtetl. And suddenly the rabbi turns around and starts to run. And the rabbi's running in what I thought was my direction. He said, I got so scared that I started to scream. My father realized I was looking, pulled me away from the curtains, shut them and said, do not look. And he said, maybe 10 minutes later, there's knocking at our front door. And he said, I was so scared. My father also was petrified. He went to the front door, he opened it, and standing there was the rabbi. And he said the rabbi was crying and he was sweating and he was nervous. And he pushed something into my father's arms. And he said, please look after this until I return. And if I don't come back, give it to another Jew who will know what to do. And then the rabbi disappeared. So the students said, well, what did he give you? And he said, are any of you Jewish? They said, no. So he said, well, I can't tell you then. So they said, hold on, we know a Jew. So I came, the Jew, and I entered the house of this Polish shepherd, and he looked at me and he burst out crying. And he said, I've been waiting for you for 75 years. He takes me into his living room, and just as we're sitting here now, he lifts up the sofa, and lying on the floor was half of a Sefer Torah, half of a Torah scroll. So obviously I pick it up. It's shocking to see a Torah lying on the floor. And I said, how come half? He said, well, we used half of it. We cut it up and used it for different things. I made my wife a handbag, insoles for shoes. They didn't understand. It wasn't out of malice or to be bad. So sitting there with this Torah, obviously as a Jew with a Torah that's been destroyed and can no longer be used, either we bury it in a Jewish cemetery or maybe in a museum. But what we decided to do was to bring this Torah back to life. So what I've been doing over the last few years is traveling all around the world with this Sefer Torah and rewriting the missing letters in this Torah together with Holocaust survivors. So we have this Torah here with us right now. And if it's okay together with you, we're going to write a letter in this Torah. How does that sound?
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
You done that before?
No.
No. So, you know, they say there's 613 mitzvahs, right? 613 commandments. The final mitzvah, the 613th mitzvah, is to write a letter in a Torah scroll. So all the other 612 mitzvahs you've done already, so now you get to complete them.
What we should do?
What will we do?
Yeah.
We'll write a letter together. Nice and easy. You'll help me pull this over here. We got your son and grandsons here who are going to help us with this incredible thing today. And together, we're going to do this. So it's a very special opportunity for us. So you see on the right side over here, we have the old part of the Torah.
Yeah.
This was hidden by the shepherd. It's about 250 years old. And on the left side here, we have the new part of the Torah. And together we can fill in a letter. And we can do one that was significant for you.
They can do it.
They'll do it with you together. I'm going to do it and you hold my arm. It's very, very easy. You want to come around and do it with your father? What was your mother's name? Grina. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to fill in this letter. The word that we're going to fill in is the word ledorotechem, right? From generations. And here with your grandson and son, it's a very appropriate word for us to do. And we're going to do this letter in honor of your mother, your father, your grandparents, and your little sister as well.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it in honor of all the...
My wife, my daughter.
Your wife and your daughters. So you're going to hold onto my hand with your right hand. And this way we fill this letter in together. And in honor of yourself and everybody else. Mazel tov. You did a great job.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Easy, no?
Yeah, very easy.
Yeah. Well, thank you very, very much. I appreciate your time tremendously. Thank you for telling me your story. And I hope to see you next summer back in Montreal. Maybe next time we'll go for dinner or something. Find some Polish place, have some kielbasa. Takie dużo Polaków tutaj?
Oh, yeah.
Tak?
Yeah. Ruskie, polskie.
A, no, ruski to jest inny.
Speaks Polish.
Tak. No, jeszcze raz dziękuję pan Gauss. Dziękujemy.
Najpierw.
Kolków. Do zobaczenia.
He's an Israeli, and I'm Polish. I'm talking to him in Hebrew, and he talks to me in Polish.
And somehow we understand each other, right? Poland.